What up y'all, Yonggi here, bringing you a guide on how to use combat probes the most efficient way. You're going to have to learn how to use the Dscan, so go ahead and click on the link down below for my Dscan guide. First, we're going to add Abyssal Trace in our filter. Open up your probe scanner window, click the filter tab, and click the plus create a new filter. Once the scanner filter editor is up, open up Abyssal Trace tab, checkmark the filament trace, and save it. Is to find another potential targets. So, if they're running high tier Abyssal, expect them to be super tanky and drop expensive loots. Next, we're gonna open up the solar system map. Before we start, I want to explain the result of the scan. If you understand this, you can guess where there will be a lot faster when you have to decide their exact location. I'm splitting up the probes to demonstrate what I mean. Here, we have an unknown anomaly. Depending on the size of the signature radius, it becomes easier if it's big, and it gets tougher if it's small. I have separated the scanner probes to demonstrate the different results depending on how many probes that touch the signature. With just one probe, it's a simple sphere. It's the least accurate shape the result offers. I'm going to add another probe, so we're tagging the anom with 2 probes now. Depending on how many probes gets on the anom, they will produce different results. The result you see now is called the circle. Now the target is somewhat closer than the sphere, but still farther away than the other 2 results. I'm going to add another probe to the mix. Here, we have what we call the 2 dots. 3 probes have distances, which narrows it down to between 2 possible locations. If the point is nearby the celestials in the system, 90% of the time that is the correct one. Finally, let's add one more probe to the mix. The result you see is called the 1 dot. 4 or more probes can see the result. This is the easiest result. You can scan it down to 100% and make that anom warpable. Typically with my scan strength, I can change the scan distance down to 1 AU, and most of the time, the anom will become 100%. So with this in mind, you can see which direction the target is located depending on the shape of your results. If you understood this concept, this will be one of the very powerful tools for ganking. And there it is. We found ourselves a wormhole, but that's not what we're here for. So let's move on to the next topic, which is to find targets using D-scans, then probe them down. Here, I parked my rapier somewhere in the system, nowhere near any clickable objects, so I'm in a safe spot. We're going to heavily use the D-scan if we can. The whole point of using the D-scan instead of probes is cause you don't want to spook the opponents, D-scanning the unknown locals like ourselves. Always start from 14.3 AU and 360 degrees. Decrease the distance by 5 AU until you don't see the target, then move it back up slightly until you see the target back in the D-scan window. Get the distance as close as you can. That will greatly increase the accuracy of our probes when they scan our target down. Now, we're going to reduce the angle by 1 tick. And I'm looking around using camera near the celestials sporadically to see if my rapier is near any objects. You want to bring down the angle as low as you can, which shows pretty darn accurate location if you can scan the target down to 5 degrees. But that's the hard part. So if the opponent is moving fast, or if the signature radius is big enough where scanning the target isn't too difficult, then it's okay to scan down the target at 15 degrees. When using the 5-degree angle to pinpoint the exact location of the target, it might be a better idea to use just the camera instead of using solar system map and the camera, because in terms of speed and tempo, using my camera helped me most in the past. Since we've got the exact location of my rapier at the end of our D-scan, we're gonna decloak and quickly launch our probes and place the probes at the edge of the D-scan with the smallest radius possible. With any PvP games, tempo is always key to the victory. We only have to run the scan once to 100% our target. Most of the time, they aren't aware they are being scanned. Once the target becomes warpable, make sure to save their location just in case if it's their SS. There are many uses for probes in general, and this is one of many ways of using it. Also, there are new combat probes available from the recent patch, and it's called Satori Horigu Combat Scanner Probe. If you're struggling to boost your scan strength, it might be a good idea to hang on to those. As difficult target comes up, it will get harder to scan without the new combat probes. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have a better understanding of the combat scanning, and let's get some kills, fellow brothers and sisters.